UFC 312 is this weekend in Sydney, Australia. The South African versus the American. The irony is not lost on me given the current American political climate. Moving on. Last week we killed it going 9-2, only getting the main and co-main event wrong. To be fair, that co-main event was probably the hardest to predict on that card. But we got all of our underdog picks right. We got our parlay of the card, the free parlay that I put on here. That was the Bearded Man parlay. Bearded Boys came through. All right, but we're here to make some more slam dunk picks this week, okay? Our low risk faves are indicated by our little money symbol here, and I'm gonna actually change to emotional support underdogs. All right, that's indicated by our little heart symbol there. Going into our early prelims first, we got Hyun-Sung Park versus Tumen Demirel. I know we got some Tumen Demirel fans out there. I know we do. But we're picking Hyun-Sung Park, and that is because Hyun-Sung Park, he is, in my opinion, too disciplined. Keeps the hands up, very clean striking. Most flyweights do have a lot of, like, most of their areas are really clean. Pause. But I just think Tumen Demirel is way too reckless. Way too reckless. I think the grappling is pretty similar on both sides here in terms of the level of skill, but in terms of the types of skill, Tumen Demirel, I think, gets way too wild. He's the type of grappler to, if you're getting up for turtle, he's got your neck wrapped up first, getting that in, and then he's putting his hooks in. Whereas Park was going to try and control you first and then work toward that submission. I also think Tumen Demirel, he is not keeping his hands up. He's not bringing them back like they should. I think Hyun-Sung Park is going to take a lot of advantage of that. I know it's flyweight, so it might be hard to see a finish coming here, but I think Hyun-Sung Park is going to just expose a lot of things, and Tumen Demirel, I think, could take some damage here. But, yeah, we're going with Hyun-Sung Park. Next, we got Salkilld versus Anshul Jabli. I know the Anshul Jabli fans are going to be upset about this one, but I just think Salkild's got the grappling advantage here. It's a little bit too good. He just does too many things I think are right. Whenever he gets them down against the cage, he's collecting the wrist on the far side, collapsing them down, leg riding, keeping his weight really far down, not letting them get him out from under, pulling the legs away from the cage, always trying to advance position, land shots while he can. He's not the most explosive, athletic, fast in those transitions, but I think he just does. But he's got a good gas tank. And he does a lot of the things that I just like to see if you're going to have this type of game. And I don't know why the odds are this wide, though. I don't really like that. I think Anshul Jabli is a lot better than what these odds kind of give us. I think he does have decent takedown defense, and he does have a chance to win this. I think, accidentally, I didn't want to change it because I was too lazy. I did probably put a little money symbol here. I actually wouldn't bet on this fight. I think Anshul Jabli still has the opportunity to catch Salkilld. He could. Jubilee's got good striking. I think he likes to get backed up too much. And in his last fight, I think it was Mike Breeden, something like that, where he's barking at him and shit. I hope I got that name right. That didn't look good. It showed me Jubilee can be broken. And Salkilld is that type of style that can do that. So we're going with Salkilld on that one. Next is Micallef versus Kevin Jousset. Our boy Jousset getting knocked. Was it finished or decision? One of the two against Brian Battle in his last fight. Pretty much Brian Battle beating him at his own game, but this time around, I think he's gonna get this one done. We're going with Jousset this time. I just think because Micallef is mainly looking to use the grappling, get you down. But he does have semi-dynamic striking, but he does a lot of things technically wrong. He can get backed up, and with a style like Jousset, who's going to be the higher volume pressure guy who's moving forward, I think that's going to help him a lot. And because of Jousset's judo background, that is also going to help, because anytime Micallef is going in for a takedown, Jousset's got those counters ready to go. So, yeah, even though he lost his last one, I think I'm going to go with Jousset. I just want to double check what he got, if it was a finish last time or if it was a decision loss. Yeah, no, it was finished in round 2, actually. Wow. Yeah, wow. But yeah, up next, we got Rongzhu versus Kody Steele. I was going back and forth on this one, actually, because I actually really like Rongzhu. And before he had to go back to the road to UFC to get back into the UFC, he lost by Bravo choke, which is a wild choke to get in the UFC. Very impressive. By Ignacio Bahamondes. So that's a tough one to lose, because Ignacio's really good. and Rongzhu does a good job of like keeping, pretty disciplined striking, but in his last fight, lost to Dr. Savage by taking a nasty elbow, and his eye blew up immediately, like completely swollen up. Nothing coming out of that. They had to stop the fight. Kody Steele, I think, does a lot of those same things, a little bit even better, and he's got good grappling. The only thing is I don't like where Kody Steele keeps his hands. He's a little reckless, but whenever he lets go with those combinations, they have damage, and he's got the grappling, which I think is he's got all the recipes needed. I think he's built to beat a guy like Rongzhu, which kind of sucks for Rongzhu. If he takes the second loss in a row after getting back into the UFC, that's tough, man. Because this is a 24-year-old with a 25-6 record. I don't know why all these Chinese dudes have the most insane records. I don't know why, but yeah, we're going with Kody Steele. Moving on. Probably one of the highest notice fights on the card is this Alessandro Topuria making his debut against Colby Thicknesse. Originally scheduled to fight Cody hadn't had to fill in. And you know what? I don't know why they got the odds this wide. I really don't. Colby Thicknesse is the number one guy in that region. And also, his wins in his last 3, they both have straight finishes in their last 3 fights in the first round. Thicknesse actually has winning records like that he's beating. Topuria's record is full of guys with just losing records. And then the guy he lost to, I think, was making his debut even. Let me look. The guy making his debut, or the guy that Topuria lost to. Also, Colby has a good bit of a amateur career too, so he has more experience, taller as well, and probably a longer reach. Lost to a debuting guy who is now 4-0 though, so good for him. That's pretty good. But yeah, so I don't like this. I don't like this. The 2 fights ago, he was fighting a guy who was 1-9. It's just I don't like that. Although Topuria with the shorter stature probably has a better chance of getting in under Colby, which is what he wants to do. He wants to get on top. He wants to throw ground and pound. I think Colby is going to be able to... I think he's just got too much experience, and he knows what's coming. I think Colby is going to shock a lot of people here. We're going with Colby, and that's going to be our underdog of the car. Okay? That's a darn good underdog. Next, we got Cong Wang, Bruna, Brazil. This is an easy one. Cong Wang all the way. The odds are correct for a few reasons. Not just on the skills, because Brazil has some skill that could pose some problems for Cong Wang. But 2 things. She's coming up from strawweight. Okay, so she is the smaller of the 2 fighters. And 2, if she can't get her down, which is going to be even harder with the size advantage, the striking is night and day between these 2. Cong Wang's got too much experience. He's got too dangerous of a kill shot. I think Cong Wang is going to get this done pretty easily. I think we're going to see it finish in these first 2 prelim bouts, actually. I think Colby is going to make short work of Topuria. All right, nah, it's crazy. I don't know if he'll actually finish him, but I think that one has a high finish potential. If on Topuria's side, if he does manage to get him down. Next, we got Tom Nolan versus Vyacheslav Borshchev. Borshchev coming back after that really tough Chase Super win to beat James Longtop, who was apparently a Terminator and was able to take all of Mauricio Huffy's shots and looked like he was making Mauricio Huffy pretty tired. So looking like Borshchev making that win look pretty decent, I guess. But I just don't think Tom Nolan is going to do what Chase Hooper did. Tom Nolan's a former featherweight who actually beat Bogdan Grad, who just fought on the last card and got a win. So just a little note there. Nolan is a 6'3" lightweight. That means he was fighting at featherweight at 6'3" too. Only a 73-inch reach, which isn't huge. So I just don't think he's got that Chase Hooper energy. I don't think he's going to do what Chase Hooper could do. I think Borshchev is going to get on the inside, and I think he's going to do a lot of damage, and we're going with that Borshchev dub. Also, that Cong Wang pick is money. Next, we got Jack Jenkins versus Gabriel Santos. This is a bit of a tough one to call. I do think Gabriel Santos has really made a good turnaround, coming back for some tough losses. But in his last fight, getting the win. Let me remind myself because I've forgotten. Against Yija, which is another one of those super young, highly tons of fights, Chinese dudes. But in his last fights before that, two loss streak, lost to David Onama and Lerone Murphy, which is just, those aren't bad losses. So not really a lot of sweat off his back there. But going against Jack Jenkins, who is pretty experienced guy. So this is not an easy fight by any means yet necessary. But I just look at what I've seen recently, and it takes you 3 rounds to finish Herbert Burns, and you're losing by verbal sub to Chepe Mariscal before that. That just doesn't bode well for me. I'm gonna have to go with Gabriel Santos there. I'm gonna have to go with Gabriel Santos. So that's gonna be my pick there. And don't forget about that. Don't forget about that emotional support underdog over here in Colby. All right, filling in on short notice with Volkanovski in his corner. Okay, don't forget that. Okay, don't forget that. All right, Jake Matthews versus Prado. Prado coming up from lightweight to face a Jake Matthews who has been one on, one off for like 6 fights. And honestly, I think that's going to drive him. Coming off a good win, I think Jake Matthews, he's going to be the bigger guy. He's going to have more experience. He's got good power and decent grappling. He's like your default decent fighter, in my opinion. And with Prado moving up and also losing to Daniel Salkilld before moving up, and there was another thing I had about that on the Prado side. And like before that, losing to Jamie Malarkey, yikes. That's all I gotta say. And you beat Oddman Zaitar, which we now know not good. Not good. He's not good. So yeah, Jake Matthews, I think this is going to be an easy one for him. He's going to have he has too many advantages in too many areas. So yeah, Jake Matthews, good call there. The return of Jimmy Crute going against Bellato. I think Jimmy Crute's got this. I think he's a tough son of a bitch. All right. I think this man's got heart. I think he's going to come back for the win. Okay. I don't care how much time it's been since he's been off. Okay. This man's coming back for vengeance. Okay. He lost to the GOATs of the division. I'm talking about the Anthony Smiths. I'm talking about the Jamal Hills. I'm talking about the Alonzo Minifields. All right. Don't sleep on my boy Jimmy Crute. Okay. But for real, I think Jimmy Crute's well-rounded. Toward the end of his career, became more more with the grappling being his main game plan. But it just wasn't really working out with him toward the end. I think he's really gone back and worked on it a ton. I really do. You need a reset after something like this happens. I think Jimmy Crute is just like beating like Bellato. Like, okay, you beat Ihor Pateria, like, welcome to the club, you know what I'm saying? I think Jimmy Crute has been fighting with guys who are at the top of the division for pretty much all of the end of his UFC career. So I just think the experience is on Crute's side, and I think the skills are on Crute's side. The only scary thing is Bellato is a finisher. But I think Crute can weather that storm. He can control the chaos. So we're going with Jimmy Crute, okay? We're going with limp foot Jimmy Crute. Okay? He shouldn't have been stopped in that Anthony Smith fight. It's bullshit. Alright? People have let fights go on for way crazier crap. Okay? Justin Tafa versus Taliesin Teixeira. We're not going with the blob, guys. We're going with the 6'7", 83-inch Taliesin Teixeira going against the 6-foot flat, 73-inch Tafa. Now, I am a little worried that Taliesin will not use his tools. Because at a certain point, too much reach is a thing. Because at a certain point when a guy gets so close to you, there's no extension on any of your punches, so you have to rely on very tight punches. And with guys who are a lot taller, it's not going to be as good as someone like Tafa, who has a lot of weight and stoutness that can really throw those hooks mean. But I am not betting on Justin Tafa. That is crazy. Okay, you gotta go with Teixeira. By the way, Crute, a true emotional support underdog. But yeah, we're going with Taliesin Teixeira here. I think Tafa was what was the last couple fights for Tafa? Dang, so hard once I get to the end, I forget. Tafa's only 31, by the way. Yeah, losing a decision to Carl Williams, knocking out Austin Lane before that, knocking out Parker Porter, and then Tafa like literally missed weight as a heavyweight against Harry Hunsucker before that and won that fight. Lost to Jared Vandera, lost to Carlos Felipe. I think Taliesin Teixeira, who I think is also a pretty young guy, if I'm not mistaken, 25-year-old heavyweight. We need these guys. We need the non-blobs. We need them. I know Tafa is here in his hometown, but he's a 260-pound guy. It's not like he's a super light heavyweight either. This is a good heavyweight with a great build and a ton of potential. I'm gonna ride that potential. We gotta go with Taliesin Teixeira. Tafa will not be getting the win. Sorry. Next is Zhang Weili versus Tatiana Suarez. She doesn't fight for over a year, and y'all must have forgot that this is, in my opinion, the number one pound-for-pound fighter in women's MMA at the moment is Zhang Weili. Look, she's learned from so many different masters. She's trained with Henry Cejudo. She is trained back at home in China, all right, with all of the top Chinese fighters there. She's trained in a bunch of different spots, honestly, and she's got probably the Chinese government behind her. I can't imagine that she isn't. It blows my mind that you don't think that she hasn't been preparing for Tatiana Suarez specifically this whole time, that she hasn't fought in over. It's got to be over a year, right? I hardly even remember. Yan Zhanan, that's who she fought. I think it was UFC 300, right? That's not necessarily a year. I'll be fair. April 13th. Before that, August 19th. And then before that, a little bit more. It's just beat Carla Esparza, beat Amanda Lemos. Like, these are good grappling threats, all right? The reason why Rose Namajunas was able to beat her and take her down and do that is because Rose is a pretty decent size strawweight, for one. And two, she grapples a lot more like a Corey Sandhagen with her like snatch singles and bringing you down real quick. It's really, really fine-tuned. It's super fine-tuned and built specifically for a game plan. That's why I love watching those two. And that's why she was able to beat Zhang Weili. I don't think we have the same situation here. Zhang Weili is not preparing for... I mean, yeah, she's preparing for a mixed martial artist, but let's be honest, she's preparing for a wrestler. She is going to have built up enough skill to where all the other skills in the MMA game they're going to be too much for Suarez. I really think Zhang Weili's got this. So we're going with that. Next, we're moving on to the main event, Dricus Du Plessis versus Sean Strickland. We're going with Dricus Du Plessis, all right? We're going with Dricus. I don't think it's close either. Dricus Du Plessis, although he's not the most technical and he doesn't have the best balance, I think he's got great toughness, great power, a good wide range of technique, not the most technical in using them, but a wide skill range. And he's just, like I said, he's just got smart game plans. He adjusts well, and he's got a gas tank, and he's tough as hell. Judges gave him the decision last time, and we know what Sean Strickland's going to do. He's already fought him. We know what Sean Strickland's arsenal is. And I think Dricus and his camp are great at making game plans. The fact that he was able to finish Robert Whittaker and Adesanya is crazy, okay? That is super impressive. And the fact that people aren't riding more on that is wild to me. Yeah, I think Dricus has everything to win. Everything to win. And I think he's going to get the finish, dude. I didn't finish writing through this because I'm trying to get this out. I think Du Plessis and Strickland is going to end by finish. I really do. I don't think these guys like each other that much. I think they have respect. Strickland I don't know. I think Strickland's got a strange mindset at times. When he gets in the cage, it switches up. But it's very strange watching him during fight week. But I've loved watching Du Plessis during fight week. He's there to stay locked in. And he was the most nervous for his Adesanya fight in any fight. This one, he's probably just locked in to kill. Locked in to kill. When I saw him in the press conference, all he was thinking about was chirping back at Strickland better than he was whenever it came his way. And he just looked mean up there. He looks like he is ready to take someone's fucking head off. And that is me not beating around the bush, honestly. So I'm going with Du Plessis. That's the picks for the card. Our parlay of the card, we're going with Yun Sun Park. We're going with Wang Cong. We're going with the Thicknesse as our little underdog to throw in there. That's a risky one. It's a risky one. If you wanted to be a little bitch boy, you could take Thicknesse out of there. It'll look way safer. Maybe replace him with a Jimmy Crute. I think that would be a good one. But no, I wanted to throw the Thicknesse in there. I got to. That'd be so sick. And then Du Plessis. I think Du Plessis has got this. Thank you guys. Tell me what you think I got right, what you think I got wrong. Let me know down in the comments. Leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow with some regional MMA for y'all. Peace.